headlines are not really much of a big throwdown here or a touchdown any way you want it, because, you know, on one hand, Nashville is growing big and strong, but on the other hand, they're asking us growth versus preservation. Well, this is really something we would have not too long ago really not too worried about too much. But on one hand, now it is the question, is it going to be Furnace Alley, or is it going to be more development, more hotels? I hope they're going to find a solution. But in the meantime, Music City turned immediately again into another volume of Party City and Extravaganza City. And we hear more and see more about this whole thing in the new Music City Journal, combined August and September. Let's roll. Alrighty everybody, lots of events were going on in the peak summertime of August here in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, USA. Most of them actually happened during the weekends, very few of them during the weekdays. The concentration, of course, was on the Saturdays, and multiple events even at the same time. And how this whole thing got into play, we're going to check this stuff out on the screen right now. Well, as most people knew in here, we started at August kind of like right with one of our all-time favorites here in Nashville, and they are recently coming more and more often, you know, thanks to some ongoing fan crowd here. And it was Steely Dan started the August just right with 2 appearances at August the 1st and August the 2nd. Got us right into the show with a whole lots more to come. And if we're looking around actually into those upcoming days, as there would have been actually Myra Cyrus scheduled to come in at the 7th, which we know so well did not happen during some, well, I think, circumstances that came around into the celebrity. But nonetheless, there was enough stuff to go around with. I'm not going too much into details, but you can see here it was day by day, fully calendar here for good old Nashville, Tennessee. Most of the things actually happened right here into the downtown area, and what kind of peak that was holding on to, I'm going to get into this right here. Yeah, what started out to be becoming a killer weekend here for Killer Nashville literally became a killer after all. If we're looking around from 21 August 21st to 24, we started with the Killer Nashville and had the Music City Festival and Barbecue Championship, which actually happened right in the downtown area, which, you know, up to the riverfront park, kept all the people amused while they were kind of like getting lost and trying to see how to get from one event to another, because on the other hand you still had, you know, the Jokers and Jackpots Gala, the last minute motorcycle run, and this just kept on going and kept going better, because at the same time over here we're moving to the famous August 26th to 28th area, which at the end of the day was nothing else but a follow-up then from this big event. August 19th started basically their whole chaotic season here. One Direction, yep, the boys group from England, had us pretty much all kept busy in or around the LP Field area, where, as you can see right here, they of course played all around within a sold-out crowd in here. Kept the teenies quite busy and on their feet, but not only the teenies, because One Direction had us pretty much blocked in all directions. And this big huge downtown event showed right here that Music City has its roots and its possibility not in or around the country music area. So there was enough of all kinds of good stuff, and with this little concert break up in here, we know we came into a busy weekend season as it followed. And we're going to get more details on that. Well, as Nashville also proved that it can be also chow down quite some good food, there was the annual Wine on the River Festival that was basically around September the 13th. That is a kind of an event that we just now had passed, but before this, in August, we came down to the Nashville Street Food Awards and the Restaurant Week, which happened from 18th to the 24th. the street and food kind of thing was at the 30th, but the peak, we have to say, was actually all the way around at the 28th at Nashville, right here at that weekend where we had on one Saturday here, the crowd piled up around the LP field looking up to a big Vanderbilt game. Then the downtown area, of course, had that barbecue thing warmed up in here for food. And if this wouldn't be all good enough, the arena had a bull riding show going on. All this at the same time, and if we don't really hold it tight enough, Western, of course, Centennial Park was all loaded up as it was at its finest here. So that is August here, pretty much in all of its colors here. And it wouldn't just simply stop right here. Yeah, as we just mentioned here, Centennial Park actually had a Centennial Park big band dances going on. This is actually still an ongoing event every night so far. At Saturday night from 7 p.m. on up, you are more than welcome to bring your garden chair, and then you can go ahead and go get with a Death by Drumstick, and you can take this in any kind of any way you want to, from chicken to food to the drummers. It was all there. The month of August was pretty much a pretty booked one over here, and as we can tell, it just simply kept going and going, because now when we're talking about going into September here, then you can actually see that we had here something quite very unique. A Music City Hot Wing Festival that took place pretty much around this weekend and kept everybody, including me, quite on their feet. And it started pretty much this last Saturday, the September the 13th, from 11 in the morning, went to 8 p.m. and there was live music going on. And look at those prices here. That might get you a little interesting in here. You know, you got $35, get you all you can care to eat food pass. That would be a whole lot of chicken wings, by the way. $50 beer garden limited pass, $75 unlimited food and beer pass, and $150 VIP. That means you scroll yourself around until you just scroll no more. And well, I went strolled by a little bit in there, and we really have to say I didn't get to see too many overblown bellies, nor too many, you know, hardcore drunks. But it was a nice little thing. But it seems to be when you go and experience something like this, then this does not really seem to be the final word on that. Because, as we can see right here, the Nashville Predators had something similar just the end of July. It was Saturday, July the 26th. They actually had a hot wing face-off, which made 8 restaurants face up the title of the best hot wings in Nashville. And this event was running from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Bridgestone Arena. And it was also a free ticket season game, and smoking thighs, crow's nest, and all about foods, and there was the hot wing face-off. So the question still remains, what is this with Nashville, Music City, and them hot wings? Then there was, of course, this famous new show now called Nashville Dancing, formerly known as Dancing in the District here. And there was, of course, a lots of show with lots of artists going on here. Peak time was, of course, going all the way from June to July the 10th, and it actually went still going well into August. And thanks to these fine people here, there was a lot of dancing going on. And you can always, of course, see on the website, NashvilleDancing.com, whatever comes up next over here. And we just spoke about here up until this weekend with hot wings and wings face-off right up in here. That actually gets us already into the week of September, so we're kind of like halfway down on our journal right over here. And let's just see what else is coming up for our entertainment here in Music City and in the downtown area. Okay, and we are now, of course, on September the 15th as of today, and there is Leftover Salomon, Ryman Auditorium. So if somebody knows them, I didn't, but it usually happens to be anyway. We're coming into our quiet time now in Music City here between September and October, and it's kind of like really what you want to pick in here, although it's very interesting. We have groups like Foreigner at the Chamarron Symphony Center and our classical auditorium, so to speak, at the September 21st, and I guess Foreigner, the rock group, coming in with a little, well, with a little thunder and lightning with orchestra here. Also, Grand Ole Opry will have Lord coming in, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Finally, another visit here to Music City, USA, the Bridgestone Arena, September 23rd. Brad Paisley, Charlie Daniels Band, Jonathan Jackson, and more. That's a good chance. Also, at September 23rd at the Grand Ole Opry. So we got again a double whammy, you know, speaking of them things, and it doesn't get any better than that because we got Experience Hendrix. Shammerhorn again competes with the Ryman Auditorium at September the 26th. Just a few days after that, Chicago at the Ryman Auditorium. And if anybody really wants to take a quick look on how this whole thing is going to look right over here. Here we got that Mr. Leftover Salmon coming up, and a few looks on how this whole thing looks. You can always go to Ryman.com events, by the way. That's the website right over here for the Ryman Auditorium, and they have the whole thing, how this whole concert thing for you plays out at the Ryman over here. And so that's on the side, since there's a lot of Ryman stuff coming up for you right here. And it continues all the way down with Dierks Bentley, Miles and Music, Riverfront Park, September the 28th. So that'll be another thing here for either Live in the Green or Dancing in the District fans. Either way, this is going to get us real close to this whole situation over here. And let's just see what do we got going on. We'll just simply move over to Dierks' website with Miles and Music, and we're going to get us this nice little fancy outlook here. And these are, of course, the expectations. You can imagine Dierks Bentley now, more than ever, kind of a guy that has gone on, on the famous stages. And he probably has some famous guests going with him. We're expecting Chris Young, Randy Houser, Kip Moore, and John Party. So, well, if that does ring a little bell for somebody, then you definitely want to check this out. September 28th, right over here, Riverfront Park. Definitely a thing to look forward to. So our summer is not quite over yet. We're ending out right into Skrillex at the War Memorial Auditorium from September the 30th to October the 1st. And then it already gets right into October. And like I said, there won't be too much to look forward to, except we got Jerry Lee Lewis, the old man of rock and roll, coming up at the October 4th. So then we got also something to look forward to, jazz at the Lincoln Center, which will be something that will be presented again at this Schermerhorn Symphony Center on October the 5th. So far we're going into the October thing, and of course now it's time for our weather comparison here, as we have, of course, really have gotten a whole lot of warm temperatures. But as everybody knows, it's about to change. And yes, everybody, if you can take a look and you can see this right here, right now, then we're really looking into more of a cozy 73 degrees right now. This is really amazing, because on this, when we're looking just about a couple of days away, less than half a week, we were more looking into some warmer temperatures. Whole August has provided us off and on with really into some up to mid-90s, and this would have been maybe a nightly low, which is now a daily high so far. And this is our temperatures right now, and if we're looking into the forecast here, it seems to be getting quite more into that, what we are call an average cozy summer here. We're finishing up today probably with a high of 78 into 64, and this will probably going to be the average time for the next couple of days to look forward to for a, average high, average low temperatures. Mid-70s and low 50s all the way through. There might be another push for some little warm weather to come up and through next weekend. Could have again mid-80s to the low mid-60s coming up, and then this whole thing will fade out into some nice fall temperatures coming up, mid-70s and mid-50s for high and low. And now the comparison again to hometowns in Germany right now. Of course, it's getting into the evening hours, and they're dealing just about 10 degrees less. Check this out, 65 degrees for starters in here, and it got into the point where we can say now it's very, very similar here. So you get actually here again mid to high 70s and low 60s coming up, and that will go all the way through also the same way. Very, very moderate temperatures. But now, everybody, we have our friends in Siberia coming up, and again in Mannheim right now, 65 degrees in Central Europe here, but the party ain't over yet. So we're looking now almost, and then know exactly into the next day, into the morning hours here, and we got Yakutsk, our state capital of Siberia. And why do I always bring this up? Because we know we have gotten some last cold weather here last winter time, and this is the coldest state capital that we have in the world. And let's just see what they're looking at right now. They're finishing up their summer into fall with these decent temperatures, and for the first time we see below freezing temps at nighttime. Their daytime high will peak out for the next couple of days, not too much, into 50 degrees. Nighttime temperatures already going into the 30s, and by the time we have our next Music City Journal coming up, depending on how am I going to get to this World Cup thing here, it could be another double whammy for 2 months. We definitely would look into minus temperatures right over here. And at this moment, Yakutsk has a nice, interesting temperature of 45 degrees. So if we're looking around right now, we're looking Nashville at 73, Siberia at 45, Germany at 65, so that tells us right here we're going temperature-wise into a smooth little overcast. Nothing too hard and nothing too soft for starters here, so we're definitely going to look into some nice temperatures here to come. And again, if we're looking into our personal 10-day forecast, and things don't happen to be that bad yet. Not until this upcoming weekend. There might be here and there a little raincoat necessary, but overall you can still make it around with a few t-shirts and maybe here and there just sweater and a light jacket. So we're definitely looking into some nice times to come here for the time being. And that's of course how our radar's been looking here lately. We might get a little rain in the forecast here as it gets a little green, although that has not been shown everywhere. This looks right now just more like around the downtown area, but off and on you get those little surprises. After all, it goes into fall, so let's just see what other surprises we're dealing with right into our next month. Well, and here a little quick downtown look into the weather feel of a nice midday to afternoon sky into the downtown Nashville Music City area. And this is what it looks like around 3 o'clock in the afternoon here with the mid-70s in temperature. And this is how we're going to conclude the whole thing for this Music City Journal. Thank you so much again for watching. I'm sorry about this combined issue here. Maybe we'll do a lot better if I put 2 months in there, but here lately been so busy with, putting that Music City World Cup Journal together and a bunch of breaking news here. And so stick around. There's just more to come. Well, everybody, when it comes to scratch-offs here lately, then they're almost turning most of the time here into some losing tickets for you and some winning tickets for the lottery. And if you experience like this, even with a major popular shot like Jumbo Bucks and still not get nothing out of here, then just don't be surprised. You won't be the only one. But as I got surprises for you now, as a little preview here from the Music City Journal, there is more and more consumer news coming up even regarding these little issues. So how about scratching some tickets and maybe save a buck or two? We'll get you covered on that too. Coming up next in some consumer news and consumer reports I got lined up for you. Virtually scratch-off tickets you can do on your mobile phone without even paying a single penny or a single dime and still get some awesome rewards. They are all included for free. And then, of course, coming up, some more surprises as further on down, we'll have some more consumer news and reports about, how to save and how to make some more extra money with little bitty things all around your phone, Android, and whatever goes around and comes around. You will be seeing we keep this by the word. So, in the meantime, I might have to check on my new little Yardbird here. He's a bad little smoker. Well, hello there, everybody. Just would like to introduce my new Yardbird that's about to come up. That little fella here, bad smoker.